Hello. What's up, guys? Bo Bannikin, professional yapper here, back with another video. Today I'm going to be doing an album showcase. Over the past year, I have collected a fair share of albums through two different formats, vinyls and CDs. And today, I'm going to take the time to showcase what I have so far. This will hopefully become a yearly tradition. Every January, I will showcase what I've collected throughout the previous year. This is the first episode of that, so I hope you enjoy. This is signaling for you to enjoy, because if you don't, there's a demon over there and it's going to get you. Sorry. To start off, we're going to take a look at the CD collection. These CDs. Up first, we have the greatest hits CDs. I do have a good amount of these. Starting off with Eurythmics Greatest Hits. Personally, I don't really know much about the Eurythmics besides the obvious song Sweet Dreams. But honestly, nice electronic rock group I would recommend. Up next, there's the very best of the Rolling Stones, 1964 through 1971. It's a great mix. All the songs that I do really enjoy, I do not know that much. There's I Can't Get No Satisfaction, Painted Black, Honky Tonk Woman, She's a Rainbow, You Can't Always Get What You Want. Great mix of songs. Every one of them is a bop. And then there's the Beach Boys' Sound of the Summer. The most confusing album cover I've ever seen, because there's nothing on it besides a sunset. Which, I mean, this is summer, so I guess it's true. Considering I don't know that much of the Beach Boys, every really good song is this. The three great songs from Pet Sounds that I still remember are all on this. There's Surfing USA, I Get Around, all these great songs. Great mix. I'm definitely going to have to listen to even more of that. And I'm excited to. Then we have Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers' Greatest Hits. Definitely some great stuff. American Girl, Don't Do Me Like That, Free Fallin', Mary Jane's Last Dance. A bunch of great stuff. They even have an FBI piracy warning. Nice. And a funny thing, this is broken. So the hinge is just come right off. I guess you can say it's an unhinged album. And then we have the last greatest hits albums in my collection. I say albums because it is a set of three. It is Electric Light Orchestra Greatest Hits. So the Afterglow set. And if you notice, if I could show you. It spells ELO, which I kind of like. Definitely had some fun. Really, only this is the one that I know any songs from. The other two, I've not really gone to their eras of music quite yet, the newer and very early stuff. So, at least I do have that. So once I decide to listen to that, I have it. Either way, underrated band. I love them to God. They're amazing. Up next, we actually have a soundtrack album to the Imagine documentary film of John Lennon. It has some Beatles stuff, it has some John Lennon stuff, it even has an Imagine rehearsal track, so that's nice. Up next, we definitely have a more interesting album. We have Primus in the Chocolate Factory. If you missed my video on Primus, they're a 90s rock band that's definitely not the most known, despite what 30% of the comments would say. And they definitely get a little experimental, a little creative with some of their stuff, and this album is no different. They took every song from the original Charlie and the Chocolate Factory movie and remade them in their own style. Except there are two extra songs, Hello Wonkities and Farewell Wonkities. And something interesting, this version Has 2 discs, one being the original songs that they made, and the second being a 5.1 Dolby Digital Surround version. I do not quite know what that means. Can someone in the comments please explain that? Because I desperately need to know what that means. So yeah, definitely a fun album. And then we have David Bowie, The Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust, and The Spiders from Mars. Great album. A lot of great hits. Moonage Daydream, Starman, Ziggy Stardust, Suffragette City. Fantastic album. One of his greatest. Now all we have left for the CDs is Beatles, which I have 3 things. Right here with the Beatles, their second album, I think. Great album. It Won't Be Long. Roll Over Beethoven. I Want to Be Your Man. Great stuff. Not one of my absolute favorite albums, but it's still fantastic. And then the anthologies. So I have anthologies number 1 and 3. Both great albums, collections of some of their unreleased stuff. They have Free as a Bird, and many different outtakes from songs. They have stuff from the original Quarrymen. If you don't, for those who don't know, was the original Beatles. So they have like That'll Be the Day from their first Quarrymen album. Some interesting stuff. Definitely makes me like appreciate what they do more, because of like it really shows like how eccentric some of the stuff is, how many takes it took. It's honestly a beautiful composition to like see like the history of the Beatles within just a couple albums. And with that, we're done with the CDs. Now time for the painful job. Evaluating every vinyl in my collection. Hello, this is Bo Bannikin here. Just to make a quick little follow-up. So the same day I was editing this video, I stopped at Bull Moose and I got one more album. So I think I should probably mention that. I got Traveling Wilburys Volume 3 on CD. So yeah, just letting you guys know. Starting off with, we have the Traveling Wilburys Volume 1. Fantastic album. It was a band consisting of 5 famous singers throughout the 60s and 70s. Don't laugh. Up next, we have one of my favorite Beatles albums, one of everyone's favorite Beatles albums, one of the world's favorite albums, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band by the Beatles. Beautiful composition, masterpiece, almost poetic. I don't know. We have what I like to call Sgt. Pepper's Part 2. Or actually, no, just Magical Mystery Tour. Not one of their stronger albums. It definitely has some of my personal favorite stuff. Fool on the Hill, Magical Mystery Tour, Hello, Goodbye, great stuff. I freaking love this album. It is an underrated album, for sure. Then we have Out of the Blue by Electric Light Orchestra. Some great stuff. Definitely creative, like almost synthy, synth rock, 70s work. Beautiful. Jeff Lynne is a genius. I will say it forever. One of the greatest singers, too, if you saw that video I made. Wheel. New genre alert. That's right, Bo Bannikin likes stuff that's not just rock. We have Michael Jackson's Thriller. Fantastic album. While every one of my videos is talking about some sort of rock artist or blues artist or something around the lines of rock, this man is still one of my favorites. Besides things that may have happened, but I do not care. The album is still fantastic. Thriller, Billie Jean, all these great songs. There's even a song with Paul McCartney, which I love that. 2 brilliant masterminds working together. Okay, up next, In Utero by Nirvana. Not one of my absolute favorite albums from them, even though there's only like 5 albums they've ever made, counting MTV Unplugged. But yeah, still a great album. One of my personal favorites, Heart Shaped Box, and possibly even my favorite song on in their discography, All Apologies. And then the second and last soundtrack album in my collection, being Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1, the soundtrack. Fantastic album. It's really what got me into Blue Suede, because I remember that song from the movie. Fantastic song. And there's also Come Get Your Love by Redbone. And funny enough, Moonid's Daydream is also on this. So apparently I have that twice. It just fully occurred to me that. And next we have a personal favorite band of mine. I recently got into them, and I find their stuff amazing. Creedence Clearwater Revival's Willie and the Poor Boys. Fantastic album. I need to say it. One of my favorite albums of the 60s. Their greatest album has probably beaten some of the Beatles albums, in my personal opinion. Yes, some of the greatest stuff I've ever heard. Great stuff. All the greatest stuff from their band was in this. This was like their true composition, in my opinion. And speaking of true compositions, what is probably the best album of the 60s. I know everyone's going to get mad at me for saying this. I'm going to get mad at myself if I hold this thing upside down. There it is. The White Album from the Beatles. Fantastic composition. Really experimental. I like to call it Revolver Part 10. Because of how many experimental albums are there. Pause for laughter. Anyway, we have another personal favorite album, Lincoln by They Might Be Giants. A bit of a lesser known album. A lot of songs are a little forgettable, very short, but I do not care. I love this album. It is a fantastic composition. Many creative songs. They use horns. They use all sorts of instruments. I love it. Some of my favorite stuff they've ever made is on this album. Still not the absolute greatest album. That would obviously be Apollo 18. Anyway, here it is, the predecessor to Revolver. Revolver Part 0. Rubber Soul. Underrated album. Back then I used to see this as the album that existed, and that served no other purpose but existing, and just being in their discography. But then I actually listened to it, and I realized, this is a great album. Very creative, very unique. I like it. It's a fun album. Some of my personal favorite songs. Han's controversial opinion. What Goes On? From Ringo Starr. Anyone? Anyone gonna fight me for that? I will. Anyway, up next we have Jazz from Queen. Some of my favorite stuff from them was on this. Bicycle Race, Fat Bottom Girls, Don't Stop Me Now. A fantastic album. My personal favorite Queen album. Anyway, we have debatably the greatest electric light orchestra album to ever roam the earth. A new world record. Fantastic album. Living Thing, Do Ya, Telephone Line. Some of their greatest stuff is on this. Up next, we have a pretty fun album. I don't even know what this is. I just have it. My grandpa just gave this to me. I do not know what it is. I desperately need some help to figure out what it is. Also,
I'm selling it on eBay for $1 quadrillion. Buy now.
So yeah, that's fun. Up next, we have the greatest hits album to ever exist. The Blue Album from the Beatles. This stuff has all the really good stuff from their later years, which, as we all know, is the best years of the Beatles. Fight Me Again, and Shoot. Fight Me a Third Time. We have one of the greatest albums to ever roam the earth, to ever walk the earth, if they could walk. Abbey Road, and once again I will say it, is like the second or third greatest Beatles album. The White Album is still better, so yeah, Fight Me a Third Time. Up next we have The Beatles' Help. I'm going to be honest, it just occurred to me that when I said I only had two soundtrack albums, I realized that's a lie. This is technically listed as the soundtrack album for the movie Help that they made. But yeah, still great album, great stuff. I grew up with the song Help, so that is fantastic. It certainly helps me. Anyway, up next we have the Weezer Teal album. Fantastic album, bunch of covers. Some of these I already have the original version of. But yeah, some other great songs. Africa, Everyone Wants to Rule the World, Paranoid, No Scrubs. Not that good of a song, actually. It just occurred to me that's on there. They made the song good, by the way. So that's definitely fun. I mainly got that album because my brother already has the Blue and Green album. So I did not know what was left to get. I need to listen to more Weezer, guys. Anyway, up next we have another album I know actually nothing about. Aerosmith Rocks. No, I'm not saying that they rock. They do. That's the name of the album. I know almost nothing about Aerosmith. There are definitely a couple songs I do enjoy. All of them are on my next album, The Greatest Hits of Aerosmith. Yeah, fantastic stuff. Dream On, Sweet Emotion, Walk This Way, Come Together. Some great songs. Up next, we have Goodbye Yellow Brick Road by Elton John. The only Elton John's album in my collection. Great album. A fantastic piano player. I aspire to be him someday. And then we have Queen's A Night at the Opera. Fantastic record. You're My Best Friend. Prophet Song, Bohemian Rhapsody. Great stuff. Definitely a really unique record. And lastly, we have Billy Joel Greatest Hits Volume 1 and Volume 2. Fantastic composition of his work. A lot of the good stuff from the Stranger are on here. I love this album. I'm so glad to have this in my collection. Anyway, that's all. And as always, thanks for watching. And bye.